ਸਤਨਾਮ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀਓ। ਪ੍ਰਾਣੀ ਕਛੂ ਨ ਚੇਤਈ ਮਦ ਮਾਇਆ ਕੈ ਅੰਧ। ਕਹੋ ਨਾਨਕ ਬਿਨ ਹਰ ਭਜਨ ਪਰਤ ਤਾਹਿ ਜਮ ਫੰਦ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। In the first Pankti, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji of the 26th slok, they say that Prani kachu na chetei mad maya ke and. So using the word Prani again, which we've already translated in the previous sloks, Prani meaning that person that has breath inside of them, the mortal. Prani kachu na chetei. And the word kachu can be translated in two different ways, and it could actually be looked at in two different ways as well, this slok. Kachu, one meaning of kachu can be a little bit. Chetei means to remember. Somebody that doesn't even remember Waheguru Ji, doesn't remember the Creator even for a small amount of time. But the word kachu can also be translated to nothing. So that way this can be translated then to prani, that person with the breath inside and that mortal. Prani kachu na chetei. Chetei means remember, they remember nothing. The word mad, one way it can be translated is to the actual intoxicant, whether that be alcohol, whether that be wine. And then the other way it can be translated to is actually being intoxicated. Mad Maya, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Paach is saying, why is it that mortal doesn't remember anything at all? Because they are intoxicated in what? In the intoxication of Maya. And what is that Maya? We'll look at as well. Mad Maya ke and. And Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Paach saying they are and, meaning they are blinded. They are blinded in the intoxication of Maya. For that reason, they're not able to remember anything at all. Kaho Paach saying, without meditating upon Akal Purkh, without meditating upon the Lord, kande kaho Nanak bin har bhajan part tahe jam fand. Part means when you end up in something. ਜਦੋਂ ਕੋਈ ਇਨਸਾਨ ਕਿਸੇ ਚੀਜ਼ ਵਿੱਚ ਪੈ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਆ, so ਪਰਤ ਤਾਹੇ ਜਮ ਫੰਦ. Jam is the messenger of death here, and fand means the news of death. So those that don't meditate upon God, they end up in the news of death. So what? We don't remember anything of our true self, of our origin, of where we've actually come from, of what we actually are. That jyot, that light that is sitting inside of us, we have absolute no wisdom of that jyot, that light of God that sits inside of us. This is a Maya Mohni Jin et param pulaya. Is that Maya is the Shakti, is that power of God, of the Creator, that we see that is in place everywhere, that is making everything work. Jin et param, which is the translation here is param, meaning doubt. This is the reason we're intoxicated in doubt, meaning we're intoxicated in this ignorance, not knowing the truth. So what happens is, so exactly what we've been going through, we then indulge in these temporary things of this world to try and satisfy our mind, but it's never satisfied. Paach is saying then, Tripta na ave. Tripta means you're never going to be satisfied. How can something temporary actually satisfy you? Maya is param, is doubt. In doubt meaning that this what is temporary is going to satisfy me. That is the doubt. Chuna chetei mad maya ke and, but we get intoxicated in this. And look what people can end up going through. People end up doing fraud. We see even people that are supposedly following the religious path, but you see many of them as well locked up behind bars. Why? Because they start doing fraud and they start scamming and they start doing VAT scams. And what is all of this for? All of this is for so they can get that little bit more, that little bit more. Remember that time when it comes when you're going to leave from here, you're not going to be able to take anything. Just in that way, Sangat Ji, Guru Nanak Dev Ji, Sache Paatshah Ji, they're both traveling, Guru Nanak Dev Ji and Bhai Mardana Ji, and they reach the outskirts of Lahore. They both settle down to do kirtan at the edge of Ravi. There's somebody that is very wealthy that comes to see Guru Nanak Dev Ji, because I really do request, I'm putting a genuine request in your feet to come and have some food at my house. Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pachaji, all knowing, agrees and they go into this house. Nanak Dev Ji Pachaji, they notice that outside of his home, he's got several flags outside. Duni Chand, they said, what do these flags signify? What they're all about? So much pride comes forward. Represents when I first earn a crore. And then he said, and every time then I got to 2, I put another flag up representing the 2 crore, then the 3. But he said, I'm still not quite satisfied yet. Guru Nanak Dev Ji said, but you're so wealthy. He said, but there's people around this area that are actually richer than me. And he said that I'm not going to feel satisfied up until I reach the level of wealth that they've got. Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pachaji asked him a question. He says, you know the others that are wealthier than you, are they satisfied? They said, aren't they still in that same chase? Aren't they trying to get to the next one, to the one that is richer than them? Aren't they trying to reach that level? And he said, well, that's true. But his mind is still focused in that wealth. But now he's hearing some truth in this. And he's saying to Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pachaji, he's saying, will you help me somehow for me to actually reach that goal? Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pachaji, they agreed. They agreed to help him to reach that goal, but not what he was thinking. Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pachaji said, let me help you. They gave him a needle. They said, this needle, they said, meet me in the world after. When you leave your body, they said, I'm going to come to get this needle from you. He's so intoxicated by wealth, he's not now thinking that, how can I take this needle with me? He's thinking, okay, that's fine. So he's gone away and he said to his wife, he's given me this needle and he's asked me to give him this in the world after, when I leave this world. And she said, are you serious? She goes, you do know that you can't take that needle with you when your body leaves. And he's like, oh my God, he's conned me. So he goes running back to Guru Nanak Dev Ji. And he says, Guru Nanak, he goes, I can't give this needle back to you. How are you meant to come and take this? I can't take this with me. And Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pachaji said, have you ever thought that everything that you've been accumulating, you've reached 7 crore. You've got 70 million now. But not even 1 rupee of that, 1 shell of that. If you can't take a needle with you, then how are you meant to take 70 million rupees with you? You know how crazy he was? You know how intoxicated he was? He says, Guru Nanak, he goes, tell me a way how I can take it with me. And Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pachaji laughed. He said, wake up, wake up. And the truth is, this physical wealth you cannot take with you. But there is a way of you taking this wealth with you. He said, how? Pun, dan is giving pun, is giving to others. He said, only if you use this body to give to others that need this. And they said, in that way, the fal of that, the fruits of that will carry and go with you. That will become your good positive karma, and that will actually help you and aid you in your next life. And he actually woke up then out of this intoxication that he was under the spell of. And then he started to give to others. And then that what we do good here can become our aid when we leave this body as well. Sangat jiyo, ni kachuna chete mad maya ke and kaho nanak bin har bhajan part tahe jam fand. They're saying otherwise we're going to remain in that death. We're going to remain in that bondage. What is that news? That news for Duni Chand was that thinking that I need more, not being satisfied and trying to accumulate more for this physical life. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.